Real estate is the safest investment that you can make, right? I mean, I've been repeating that same phrase for the past 10 years. It has to be true. Welcome back to another video. My name is AlexBeltran, and I talk about real estate tricks, tips, and topics. Now, the other day, I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Johnny Harris, and he had this to say.
This was a failure of journalism, and journalism's job of looking into hypotheses and actually validating them based on the available evidence. And I almost just got caught in the pitfall, trying to do journalism and about to regurgitate what I read on the Washington Post and New York Times.
And I know he's specifically talking about journalism in that particular clip, but lately I've been running a lot without headphones because I'm getting ready to do an event and headphones are not allowed. I've been logging a lot of hours. You can actually follow me on Strava if it's something that you're interested in. But while running without headphones, there are only so many arguments with your inner demons that you can have before it starts to get, well, boring. And just randomly, I thought about this clip and I thought to myself, well, what are some of the phrases that I mindlessly repeat?
Real estate is the best investment to make you rich.
Real estate is the safest investment is a mantra that's been in the real estate agent's lexicon since the beginning of time. Much like how you spend a third of your life sleeping, so you might as well get a good mattress from a mattress salesman or some car guy telling you that's not an oil leak, that's just horsepower sweat. Is real estate really the safest investment you can make, or is that just a phrase that someone with a vested interest in the matter has to say? Well, in this particular video, I'm going to unpack that, and I'm gonna be honest, even I was surprised by the answer. To the common person, a house is just a roof over their head, a place to hang up their TVs. A couple of people buy a couple of investment properties to grow their investment portfolio, but ultimately, it's just a house. This shelter, which happens to be one of the largest purchases that the average person will make in their lifetime, is one of the few necessities in our life that actually appreciates in value. That water, gas, and electric bill money that you're spending so much on, yeah, good luck getting that money back. Your car, that's cute. I mean, unless you had like a Jeep Wrangler during this, chip shortage, then maybe you might profit off of that, but ultimately, you're gonna lose money on cars. But if you ask your grandparents how much they bought their house for and what it's worth now, I mean, barring they didn't take out any bad loans, I can guarantee you that they're sitting on a pretty large little equity gold mine. But you see, real estate isn't a traditional investment if you live on the property. It's more of a forced savings account, a piggy bank that just happens to get bigger with time. And I know that there is this train of thought that if you live in the house, it is a liability, not an asset. I'm looking at you, Senor Cardone. But if you listen to Grant Cardone, he also says that cash is trash. So which one is it? I mean, look, I know what he means is that get cash to invest in real assets, which makes him rich on paper. Much like how your grandparents are paying down the principal on their mortgage, building equity, and becoming richer on paper. So it is an investment. I mean, keep in mind that there are dummies in this world right now that think that investing in Dogecoin is an investment. It was a joke, people. It was a fucking joke. I don't know if you can see the guys behind me right over there, but fishing on a Wednesday? Nice. It was getting pretty hot out there. Anyway, just to continue, real estate has been a major reason for market downturns, much like it did in 2008. And if you're watching the news right now, they're making it seem like real estate is poised for another bubble pop, because we've subconsciously accepted that major corporations like Blackstone have essentially turned our dwellings into derivatives or Wall Street speculative gambles. Blackstone is one of America's largest landlords, and these motherfuckers, when there was an economic shutdown, were buying properties at well over ask and packaging these into financial products so that the average person could invest in real estate, essentially turning our homes where we raise our kids, occasionally have an argument with our significant other over who ordered so much Amazon products, into commodities, leaving a lot of people confused and wanting to know, should they buy, should they rent, or should they hitch a ride with Bezos to the moon or wherever the hell he's going? I don't want to mix up the issues. This video isn't about buy versus rent or never buy versus buy a la Blackstone. I just want to look at real estate objectively, and I want to see if real estate is in fact the best investment you can make, or if it isn't? And if it is, why is it? And if it isn't, what is better? All right, so let's get to some of the debatable topics first. Woo! By the way, quick wardrobe change after running in Omaha humid weather. Yeah, you definitely need a change. Anyway, so the first thing we need to find out is, why is real estate valuable at all? It isn't just because it's a place that people inhabit, but more simply put, it's the property and the structure that gives real estate value. In fact, when you look at a detailed MLS sheet, it actually breaks down the property into land and building ratio. If the value of the land is significantly higher than the value of the structure, then the property isn't being used to its fullest potential, whether it's residential, commercial, agriculture, or industrial land. And what gives land value? Location, baby. The reason why a property inside of a major city is going to be worth more than a property that's in a rural area is simply because of supply and demand, along with more career opportunities and limited space. Generally speaking, the big cities are going to offer more opportunity and higher paying jobs in comparison to the rural areas where there aren't going to be that many opportunities and high paying jobs, unless you're one of my carnales growing cannabis. I see you, my man. Keep hustling. I don't see you. I don't know you. Who are you? You see, I've always grown up in a big city, so for me to stay in a small town for too long, I just start pulling out my hair, but that's an Alex problem. After moving to Nebraska, I'm actually surprised how many high-paying jobs there are in rural areas. Think of logging rights in Vancouver or subsidized cornfields in Iowa. There is a lot of money to be made in rural areas as well. One of the major factors that boosts prices in a particular city is its international appeal. A lot of people know of Los Angeles, New York, London, Monaco, Tokyo. And because of that, it adds a premium to their price tag. And then you also have premium price tags because they are destinations. Think of, the Hamptons, Aspen, Whistler, Courchevel in the French Alps. These places attract high earners because of their exclusivity and limited space. On the other hand, how many people have heard of Anselmo, Nebraska? I don't even think Nebraskans know where Anselmo is. Hell, I don't even know if Americans can point out where Nebraska is on a blank map. And because of that, it doesn't get that premium price tag. Couple that with the fact that there's a lot of space to build, it creates no scarcity. So by looking at this, is real estate a worthwhile investing? And I think the answer is absolutely yes, as long as you do your due diligence. And apart from the numbers, you also take into account location, location, location. But even after all that, it's still an investment, and investments are never guaranteed to grow. I mean, there is that very reasonable high probability that prices will continue to go up, even if it's just appreciation alone. But we have to recognize that there is a dark side to real estate as well. The dark side of real estate is the fact that it's ambiguous. If you ever want to see an economist's head explode, ask them if real estate is a commodity or a good. And this is where real estate starts to get into trouble. The simple fact that real estate can be considered a commodity is good in that it's the reason why our homes appreciate in price and don't lose value like a good. On the other hand, commodities have the potential to fail and cause market-wide disasters. We have to remember that real estate isn't just residential. There is commercial real estate, and under the commercial real estate umbrella, you have farmland, industrial land, retail space, office space, and so much more. Did you know that real estate is actually one of the biggest factors as to why we have inflation? Fuck. When I was told about this, my mind literally exploded. Much like the simpleton that I am, I simply thought that inflation was caused because people are making more money and it's costing more to produce anything, whatever you want it to be. And that was it. I didn't really look any deeper than that. Let's just say that a lease in a given retail space goes up by 2%. Well, guess who's gonna pay for that? That's right, you, the consumer. The fact that a particular piece of real estate attracts more people to that retail space makes it more valuable. Think of Rodeo Drive versus the average retail mall. One of the reasons why your nasty looking Gucci bag is so expensive is because somebody has to pay for that Rodeo Drive lease in comparison to that JCPenney Michael Kors bag. Is JCPenney still around? And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, I order all of my things off of the most hated man in America, Amazon, so I don't have to hang around La Chusma. And to that I say, what, do you think toilet paper just grows on trees? Do you think that your favorite foot fungus cream is just floating in the ethos waiting for you to order it? No, they're in warehouses, and warehouses, they're expensive. And so far, we've only been talking about the good times. Now, according to our own government, home prices have been skyrocketing while wages have been stagnating. Why exactly this is happening? Ask an economist. I'm here to focus on the real estate because eventually there will be a tipping point where debt and over-leveraging is going to tip the scales in a direction we don't want it to go. And as a professional real estate advisor, this is where I tell people to pump the brakes just a little bit, especially when it comes to debt. Now, I know that a lot of real estate investors love, and I mean they love debt. They put down a little percentage and the bank covers the rest, otherwise known as a mortgage. And what I've been noticing is that lately, a lot of real estate investors have been way over leveraging themselves because it's the best way to get rich, man. A lot of people don't like my real estate investing style. Just take a look at the comment section of some of my more popular videos. I personally don't like over leveraging, and because of that fact, I grow a lot slower than some of my fellow compadres. You see, I personally believe that real estate investing is a marathon, not a sprint. I do this because I try to eliminate as much risk as possible. I also hate the stock market, but I invest in it anyway because that'll get me to my goal of becoming my own bank, because I'm not the biggest fan of banks either, especially Wells Fargo. Don't ever bank with them. And the crazy thing is that banks not only allow, but encourage over leveraging. How many of you knew that you can purchase a fourplex with an FHA loan? And because it's an FHA loan, you have to live on the property, which means you can rent out the 3 remaining units. However, you can use the potential rent that you can get from those 3 remaining units to be added to your purchasing power. That means that rent that you are not collecting yet can be used in your favor to purchase a property. And to be completely clear, I'm glad that this is a possibility because it allows more people to get their foot inside the real estate investment door. But it has to be done in moderation because the bad times will come, and real estate is the most over-leveraged asset because it also happens to be a shelter. As a real estate agent, of course I love it when home prices are higher. That means I get paid more to buy and to sell real estate. Homeowners, they get the assurance of knowing that they're sitting on top of a nice, large nest egg. Now, on an economic level, that's a different story. A really high valued real estate market is a burden to myself and to homeowners because we are unwittingly funding our own inflation oppression, forcing ourselves and companies to find cheaper and cheaper places to begin their businesses and to live. Cutting down farmland for short-sighted profits for Amazon warehouses like they're doing here in Nebraska without asking ourselves, wait a minute, where are we gonna get the food that we're no longer producing? There is no simple answer to this. Taking on debt to buy something that doesn't produce anything is the definition of bad debt. Yet real estate's complexities defy this rule. So is real estate the safest investment that you can make? I still think the answer is yes. I think it's very safe to say that at a bare minimum, you should buy where you live so that your savings with the equity of that property keeps up or surpasses inflation. For real estate investors, myself included, I think we should stop confusing over-leveraging with genius. There are a lot of real estate investors right now that rely solely on the rent that is coming in to pay off the mortgage of their properties because they never had the earned income to cover their expenses to begin with. Over-leveraging at some point is gonna catch up with us. And when it does, the treadmill of life is gonna keep going on at full speed, and if you're over-leveraged and can't keep up,
You're right.
Anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is real estate worth investing in? Am I stupid for not over leveraging and growing quickly? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. That's it for this particular video, folks. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.